If you guys are wondering, why I have a man with a much more magnificent beard than I ever could grow in my entire life, I just want to start this show off by shouting out my dude, Charlie Hilbert. Charlie, if you guys can't see it on there on the screen, he has 116K subscribers. Charlie Hilbert, I think he had like 2,000 or 3,000, maybe not even that. He probably had like 1,000 subscribers. And Charlie made a video where he said fuck Trump. He said that, and he lost like 100 subscribers right away, right? And it was some of the coolest backlash you'll ever see in your life. Because Charlie lost 100 subscribers, and Charlie gained over 100,000 subscribers. And there is no dude on the internet that deserves it more than Charlie Hilbert. Charlie is one of the coolest people. And this is for Charlie right here. This right here, that's for Charlie. Charlie's always talking about swords. That's my cheap ass katana. Charlie's always talking about how his swords are under $200. Charlie, that one's for you. Charlie is dope, dude. If you don't know who Charlie Hilbert is, let's put Charlie in the chat. Not that Charlie needs any help from me, but we're going to play a video here in a minute. Probably not even this one, to be honest with you. Let me play that. That's Charlie Hilbert, and you guys should be following Charlie, because Charlie is quite possibly the dopest human being on YouTube. Just straight up says what he thinks, talks mad shit, calls out the right, and a lot of his videos are actually about like the kind of stuff that I like. You know, old school war shit, like Macedonians and the Greeks and the Romans and all these other people, right? But Charlie also comes on here and he calls out Elon Musk, calls him a Nazi. Charlie don't pull no punches. And if you like what you see in the background there, you can see Charlie don't give a goddamn what you think. And I love it. Charlie also plays some music. Charlie gets on there and plays some music as well. Charlie don't surf? Is that true? DJ, you probably know Charlie. He's our side, dude. He's in our wheelhouse. Me and DJ are subscribing to people like Charlie Filbert. Dude, Woke Mike, you're gonna love Charlie, dude. Let's watch some videos. I've ranted long enough. Let's watch Charlie rant for like half a second. Looks like you're just saying thank you on this video. Let's actually here. I want to give you guys the full Charlie experience. Here you go.
You know, I was about to stop for the night, go down and put on the news and watch the world go to hell. But then it came to my attention as I was fucking around here that
Dude, I love Charlie.
My shout out to my gay atheist friends is only a fucking short. That's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for me. That doesn't meet my fucking high standard. All right? That should be a video unto itself. So this is my second extended shout out to my gay atheist friends. All right? And let's just talk about, while we're doing that, I'll just talk about another book that was extremely interesting. And in a subject that I've studied over the years.
This is why I love Charlie. He's a reader. If you guys don't know, there's a whole group of companions in the Greeks that would fight side by side with their significant other. They're all homosexual, every one of them, and they're one of the baddest fucking fighting groups in the world because they fought for something that they loved every day. Like when Alexander fought against them, Alexander the Great fought against them. Alexander the Great commissioned a statue in their honor because they refused to give up to the last person, because the person standing next to them wasn't even just another person in the military with them, not just their brother and sister, but literally their fucking significant other. They were one of the baddest groups on the fucking planet.
It's not my main focus these days, but it was when I was researching the Sacred Band of Thebes. who were basically were the
Sacred
toughest
band.
guys in the ancient world.
Yep.
And they were
We
all
talk about
married
everything,
to each
Ducky.
other. They had
Mostly just
there was
political news.
300 guys.
Right now we're talking about Charlie
And
Hilbert.
they were married to each other, so that's 150 male couples. They
Yep.
were we'd call it a gay marriage. You could get away with that stuff in Thebes. Couldn't
Yep.
really get away with it in Athens. They would just give me a second to think of the word.
Charlie's real, dude.
They were just too stuffy. They were just too stuffy. You know, they had too many rules, maybe. So you could get away with a gay marriage in Thebes, and
the sacred band that was
usually between. Well, usually it would always be between
whatever you want to be, Ducky,
man and a younger man.
Ducky?
There's a word for that too. It's age asymmetric. It's an age asymmetric relationship. And at Thebes, at fucking Athens, you want to get with some guy, you give him a rabbit or something. I don't know what the fuck that was about, or a pet.
Charlie cracks me up, dude.
Maybe he was going to eat the rabbit.
You just want to braid his beard.
At Thebes, you gave the guy you were going to hook up with for
golf,
for life, a suit of armor, and you took your vows at the shrine of Iolus, who was supposed to be Heracles' partner. Like once again, the age difference, age asymmetric relationship. So this goes back to my interest in this goes back to about 1995 when there was that gays in the military shit, and they were saying don't talk, don't tell, and I thought to myself, what the fuck?
Yeah,
the guy that started the United States Army was a gay immigrant from Germany, Baron von Steuben or Steuben, or whatever his name was. When he got to, let me tell you something.
It's like the craziest thing in the world, man. To sit here and say to yourself, LGBT people shouldn't be allowed in the military. Gay people shouldn't be allowed in the military. And then at the same time complain that no one is signing up for the military. Like, my whole family's military, right? My uncle's Marines. My aunt was Navy. My dad was Air Force. My grandfather was 30 plus years in the Army. Like, we covered the spectrum, right? I was in the Air Force ROTC, but I was a bad kid, and I wasn't able to. I dropped out of high school, and if it wasn't for a couple really awesome teachers, I would have never graduated. But there's a need in our society that certain people want to fulfill, and that is to defend others, physically defend others. And once again, this is that place where somebody on the left's like, oh, there should be no military. Like, why are we going across and like doing it? Yeah, there's a discussion to be had about what our military should be used for. But the idea that if we put down our weapons, the world will put down their weapons is naive. And there are certain people in our society that want to fulfill that role because that's who they are as people. And it doesn't matter what their sexuality is. It doesn't matter whether they're LGBT or they're heterosexual. It doesn't matter if they're black, if they're white. Here in America, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. At the end of the day, if those people, if that's their chosen role, if that's who they want to be, then they have just as much right to it as a white male does. And if you guys don't know, the Ku Klux Klan has actually really worked really hard to push white nationalism into our military. So it actually behooves us to have people like this in the military because, as my grandfather once said, it doesn't matter what the person standing next to you in the trench looks like. It doesn't matter if they're gay or straight. It doesn't matter if they're African American or Asian. All that matters is that's your brother, that's your sister. That's a person that has your back. And it teaches people that within the military, you don't have the bias that other people do because you can't have that bias because you have to depend on that person standing next to you no matter what their race or ethnicity is. So it helps to actually break down some of these barriers by having people like LGBT people join the military because then you recognize this person's just like me. They just choose to live a different life sexually. They choose to live a different life culturally. But at the end of the day, once again, our fundamental values are still the same. We want to protect our wives. We want to protect our children. We want to protect American citizens from fucking mostly Russia. But it's like vastly important to have the type of diversity that we have in the military as we had over the last 4 years. Because if you don't, then you do have a white nationalist army that goes around the world with the same bullshit, basic bitch, cultural ideas that they're superior than everybody else. And that's how you end up with wars that aren't in the defense of the country, but are to take oil and resources from impoverished communities. That's why diversity is actually so important. Diversity isn't just you're hiring black people because there's not enough black pilots. No, you're hiring African Americans because you need their point of view. And anybody that's been in the military knows how important it is to have diversity of points of view. Because as I said earlier, there are things, like I said about the helicopter flight. Like, I don't know helicopters. I don't know how to fly a helicopter. Bill Burr comes out and says it'd be stupid to fly a helicopter over a wildfire in 100-mile-per-hour winds. And I go, oh, that's somebody that knows something about that. Now, we're not very diverse because we're just talking about two white-ass gingers. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you need diversity.
I tell you, I'm going to digress a bit. All wars are fought by teenagers. You know, you see these war movies. There's a guy 40 years old. He's humping around some rifle. Yeah, yep. Maybe if you're the fucking general, okay? Or a major or something. But
I was going to say, is it highest enlisted
are teenagers.
Master Sergeant?
So when Washington was at Valley Forge in the winter, anybody that was married in his army had to go home and take care.
Yeah, Natalie says, people would be surprised how many military men are gay or love us trans women. Yeah, here's the other thing. Saying that LGBT people can't be in the military isn't going to stop LGBT people from joining the military. It's just going to make them have to hide it and put them into situations where they're going to feel as though their lives are in jeopardy from their own people. That's all that's going to do. You can say no gay men are allowed in the military. There's going to be gay dudes in the fucking military. They're just going to have to hide it. You know how much worse that is? Like, you should want the people that are in the military to not fear the side that they fight for. There's so much wrong with this mentality. And a lot of it is super fucking common sense. And the problem is that people lack common sense because it's not really all that common. There's going to be gay people in the military. There's going to be trans people in the military. Whether or not you set boundaries and rules, that doesn't matter. All you're doing is causing those people to have to just hide it, which is bad because now mentally they're dealing with something else while literally doing one of the most difficult things that a person can possibly do. Like, you're just making the situation worse.
Take care of stuff. Take care of business. So the only people left at Valley Forge with Washington and his officers was a bunch of teenagers. And, of course, they were sloppy as shit. So the first...
Wait, what was he talking about? Was he talking about Valley Forge? Because I love me some Valley Forge.
Valley Forge with Washington and...
Yeah, Valley Forge. Dude, if you guys don't know about Valley Forge, every single American should know about Valley Forge. Because we were this close to there not being in America, all right? George Washington and his troops were camped outside in Valley Forge outside of Philadelphia with no food, no water. They were literally eating, like when people talk about eating leather, like boiling leather for soup, that's what they were doing. They were dying at Valley Forge. It was frozen, and they had built structures out of the resources around Valley Forge. We were this close to George Washington and all his troops just starving to death. That's how America almost ended. Valley Forge is crazy.
Take care of stuff. Take care of business. So the only people left at Valley Forge with Washington and his officers was a bunch of teenagers.
Seminar's wife.
And, of course, they were sloppy as shit. So the first thing Baron von Steuben did when he got here was to make them clean the place up.
There we go.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So that's right. When he came over and he saw the camps, yeah, he started getting them back to some type of discipline, an organization. Once again, there's so many little things that if they had not gone right, there wouldn't be an America today. And that's literally been American warfare for like all of time. Like people talk about the American military as if we're like some kind of like juggernaut that went around the world just like doing whatever we want. But the reality is like we almost lost World War II because a bunch of fighter planes during the Battle of the Midway got lost and almost ran out of fuel before they found the Japanese battleships. Like we're once again that close to losing World War II and just becoming fucking Nazi Germany all across the world. Our fighters took off from the carriers, got lost, couldn't find the fucking the ships, and literally just like at the last moment before they ran out of fuel, found the fucking battleships and won the battle of the Midway. And part of that was because the Japanese carriers had actually put bombs on the aircrafts to get ready to fight. There is no fight, so they took the bombs off the aircrafts because you can't just have the plane sitting there with the bombs on the aircrafts, and then had to re-put them back on when the American planes showed up all of a sudden, just like out of nowhere. Once again, just the smallest things.
Then he taught them how to fight like men. This is Baron von Steuben, the gay dude. He had to come from fucking Germany, from Prussia, over here to teach Americans how to fight like men.
Yeah, gay dude made America great.
He created the United
Made
States
America
Army.
Great.
No. So one of the first
yes,
books
George
I read
did vaccinate his troops by direct transfer.
Classic,
that is
probably
correct.
Still the definitive work on the subject. Greek Homosexuality by Kenneth Dover. I don't even have to look and see who is that. No, it's Kenneth Dover. Kenneth Dover. This is a fantastic. Not only.
So that's Charlie Hilbert. I'm not going to watch this whole video. If you guys want to watch the rest of the video, watch it. Go over and check out his channel. I like Charlie. I like I said, I think it's one of the greatest stories ever. Was he came out and said, F Donald Trump. 100 people said F you. And then 100,000 people said, we got your back. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. Like, I'm not woe is me. I don't sit around and like, oh, I wish I was bigger and all that shit. It is what it is. Like I'm a person that like I'm all okay with consistent growth, right? Like I like consistent growth because it feels better. But for other people out there, whether it's Benjamin Dixon or Charlie Hilbert or Luke Beasley or Adam Mockler, whoever it is, like, you should be vocally supporting the things that you agree with that they talk about. That doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that they say. In fact, you shouldn't, because that makes you a cult member. But you should be able to look at the things that they say. Charlie here will say some shit that you don't like too. Says shit that I don't agree with. But at the end of the day, fundamentally, we believe in the same things. We believe in the same goals. And I support him regardless of whether or not we disagree on one or two things. Some of them could be big things. Charlie stands up for transgender people. Charlie stands up for the LGBT community. Charlie says, fuck Trump. I'm here for that. And I don't give a shit if at one point or another Charlie says one or two things that I disagree with. I still support him. And it's a dope-ass story that he has over 100K supporters. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out that video on the screen now.